So one of the things as I'm thinking about doing this series is I've asked myself, why has nobody done this? They're flipping shows, they're day trading shows, but there's no buy and hold. And I think the reason there's no buy and hold is because it's not sexy. And also, there's not a lot of folks that get to our point that are willing to kind of talk about it and talk about the suck and talk about the hard work and talk about the daily discipline. I think there's a lot of, get rich quick kind of era stuff, no money down, all of those things. But I think if you want to get wealthy, you've got to own assets. You've got to own assets that cash flow, and you've got to own them for a long time. And unfortunately, a long time is not sexy. So I think one of the things that Olivia and I could bring to this is we've been doing this for 20, 25 years. We have some of the fruits of the labor, but we also haven't lost touch. We believe that getting to 4 rental properties can change your life. That's why I think getting to 4 rental properties in Vegas is a great goal. And I look forward to sharing the journey with you. One of the things I wanted to do is show you one of the reasons I got this car and why it's my dream car. Hardtop convertible. How cool is that? Now we can roll in style. See ya.
We have gone from get rich quick to scare tactics and fear.
So I had that conversation with Olivia this morning, and she's game. She's not only game, she's eager, and frankly told me what the hell's taking me so long. So I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised. But you know what? Can we come see you today? I think I want to strike while the iron's hot. Yeah, maybe 11:30, something like that. Yeah, we want to look at Vegas, get the history. Ideally, get down to a couple of zip codes or areas that we should start looking at. All right, you ready? Okay. All right, see you then. Thanks.
Good.
How's it going?
How are you, buddy?
Taking care of us today. Thank you. We appreciate that. The
Excited.
signage.
Hey,
Yeah.
good. You let everybody know who's in the house.
Nice office.
All right, so Joe, first off, thank you for taking our phone call this morning, right, and making time to kind of introduce us to Vegas. I think first, I just want to hear your history with Vegas. I want to hear about your company, your brokerage, all things Joe D, and of course, introduce your lovely daughter.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I'll start with introducing Emily. Emily, what are you, 23 now?
23 now.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
Good job, Dad.
Were you supposed to do that?
Good guess, right? She got a real estate license last year.
Oh, wow.
And has been working with a lot of our clients, primarily focusing on the buy side.
Sure.
And, she has developed a very good eye, I guess. Number one, being raised and around us all the time hearing about real estate. But two, she's also worked with us on a few projects on remodeling rentals and flip.
Okay.
So she's got to get in there and even came up with the idea of removing a couple of walls that I didn't see, and turned out.
All right.
In my blood, for sure.
There you go. I like it.
So I've been selling real estate. In June will mark my 30th year.
Before she was around.
Yeah.
Exactly. I can do the math. 23 is less than 30.
During that time, I feel like I've ridden the roller coaster of almost every market scenario. From the builders had 90% of the market, right? Resale only had 10, and then the swings of different markets. But our focus has always been, we want to make sure that we are doing right by the clients we represent. Mm-hmm. People will say, well, what area, what price range, what do you specialize in? My answer is good people.
Okay.
You could be selling a little condo. You could be buying a $7 or $8 million property, all things we did last year and this year. It doesn't matter to me as long as you're a good person.
Okay.
We've flipped properties. I'm partners in a development company. I build apartments and hold them, and involved in a lot of charities, and chairman of the foundation board for the Henderson Chamber of Commerce.
Wow.
Which is gives me reach across the entire valley.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've been selling real estate for 30 years. How much of that has been in and around Vegas?
100% of it.
100%. So you've seen Vegas grow up.
when I started in the business, areas of town that I would at that time ride my bike, I would think, who in the world is going to live all the way out here?
Right.
And now I live several miles
Past that.
I knew Joe was good, but damn!
Gee, Joe's know everything. I mean, this guy knows his stuff. Where did Michael find this guy?
So yeah, it has changed a lot. And you know, the one thing I really appreciate about Vegas is the city, the county, they stay out ahead in terms of traffic flow.
Right.
There's a fair amount of traffic cones around the valley. It has been for the 30 years I've been doing this, but it's because they are seeing the choke points and they're not waiting for it to become a major problem. They're anticipating what the next decade will be. And I imagine as you have driven around,
Yes.
noticed those things as well.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's been fun.
You know, Olivia and I have experience buy and hold. That's what we've done. In California, Central Valley, nothing here. You know, my casual look at Vegas is I'm not sure it does cash flow as a long-term rental, but I'm also more experienced enough that there are areas that make more sense than others. And Vegas is huge, right? We came here first looking for our primary residence and thus looking at our price point, which wouldn't make sense as a rental.
Right.
So we know nothing about what I would call affordable housing in and around Vegas.
Southern Highlands is probably one of the most popular places. Very lovely golf courses, a lot of luxury in there as well. Further down here into Enterprise and Rhodes Ranch in this area, Mountain's Edge, that's where a lot of new developments are occurring.
Okay. So like estate lots and bigger houses, stuff like that?
Not necessarily in Mountain's Edge.
But over here.
Yeah. Okay. Say in Southern Highlands. I sit on the Henderson Housing Advisory Board for the city of Henderson. They just passed guidelines on allowing tiny homes to be as part of a development.
Okay.
With similar zoning regulations that you would see for manufactured housing.
Oh, okay.
They're really reducing the sizes.
Sure.
The challenge is going to be who can do them at a price that's going to still make it affordable.
Okay.
The land is the barrier.
Yep. Okay.
Right?
All right.
So, good question.
Okay. Yeah. So one of the things that I was hoping to get done today is really where should we start looking? And you know, ultimately we're going to get a buy box, and that's going to be all we look at. We're not there yet.
Buy box? Oh, give me a break. I'm not going to want to deal with that. I mean, geez, I do enough of that when I was in Cisco. Damn.
Folks, really quick about a buy box. What is it? It is everything for a new real estate investor. A buy box is a set of criteria that allows you to focus on a set of properties day in and day out. More importantly about a buy box, it is also permission to ignore everything else. Folks, my buy box back in 2002 was 93703, single family homes, 3 or 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, between 1,200 and 2,000 square feet. Folks, get a buy box, get focused, look at it every day. It's that simple.
You know, if we were going to pick 2 or 3 locations to start looking online, getting alerts, driving, you know, figuring out what's the rent and the property management, you know, all of that stuff, where do you think the return is? Because we're not buying anything that doesn't cash flow. We're comfortable putting 25, 30% down. We're going to get a traditional mortgage, assuming we can't get seller financing or something like that. But, you know, where would you tell an out-of-state or out-of-area person, hey, you might want to at least start looking here. There's so much to choose from, but where are some spots maybe from each of you that you might poke at?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. What I always look at is where are the highest probability of getting the most amount of tenants.
Correct.
Right? So first thing I start with is jobs.
Yep.
Like where's the best access for places with jobs? And so for me, that would be the south end of the valley. Looking along the 215 corridor coming out of Henderson, in through the southwest on its way to Summerlin.
Okay.
That would be, and it's a sizable area, but when we define your buy box, we'll know like these are the bones of the structure of the property you want, bedrooms, baths, all that kind of stuff. It'll be easy for us to map that out.
So what's the affordability ratio there? Do you have
Like rent to price, like
rent price, or how affordable it is for people to buy their home?
So typically, if somebody's going to buy in that area, they're going to pay more per month than it would be
Than
for
the
them to
rent.
rent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. So that does make it attractive, especially people that are coming here for the first time. They may not know where they want to live. And that's a very common good tenant that we've had throughout the time that we've had properties is people that are moving here. We don't know where we want to be, but we're going to work here. So we want to be close, and then we're going to get the lay of the land.
Okay.
Okay.
So you'll get good professionals that people that have stable employment.
And then we've never rented, at least that I can remember, on purpose to folks that support the military. I'm going to guess it's like most military operations up here where they're on 2 or 3 year contracts and they're changing bases or duty stations.
Yep.
Same thing, I would imagine.
100%.
Okay.
In fact, if we go up to this 215 corridor here far to the north, we see a big section of military housing, not military done by the military.
Right.
It's a large draw of residents because of their proximity to Nellis and or moving out to Creech.
Okay.
And to your point, yeah, they're on 3-year terms and they're here for a period of time. Some buy.
Right.
A lot of them prefer just to rent so that they don't have the hassle.
Always something to do in Vegas. So
Yeah.
any other thoughts, honey? I'm not sure if I'm certainly fuzzier on what to do next,
Yeah.
but
so
that's okay.
Man, I forgot how hard this is.
Guess we got more.
Fuzzier, I gave you too many options.
No, it's a good thing, right?
it's a lot to think about.
Yeah, because I want to get to a point. What I'm trying to do here is obviously help Olivia and I buy something.
Yep.
But I'm also trying to show the audience how they could take what we just did or what you did in any city across the country, right? Find an Alibaba agent, ask these kind of questions, poke around, look at the areas. I came here thinking we were going to talk long term. Where we went to, we got military conversation, which is net new to us. Midterm rentals, great. Traveling nurses, great. So, eventually we're going to come to you and say, okay, we're going to do traveling nurses, these hospitals, go.
Got it.
I have more to think about today.
Or whichever property give us the biggest cash flow.
No, that's what I'm going to.
That's the goal, right? I mean, that's the ultimate goal,
Yeah.
right? I don't care about what property, the lands and all that stuff. I want a solid property that give me most cash.
Yeah, we're gonna figure out which of these produces the highest yield, right? Cash flow over invested capital.
In a future episode, we're going to go through a deep dive of how to calculate yield, setting up a buy box, and tracking. But right now, let me give you the simple math formula. It is 2 numbers. The denominator, or bottom number, is how much cash is in the deal. The numerator, or top number, is how much yearly cash flow. That is it. That produces yield. But pay attention, in a future episode, you will get the nitty-gritty, the spreadsheet, how to set it up, and the full kit and caboodle. Look for that.
But yeah,
So one of the things that we will talk about as we move forward on this process, there are going to be areas like we can't steer.
right.
I mean, that's like
Yeah.
part
Oh,
of our
bad idea.
business,
Yeah,
right?
right.
But there are going to be areas based on what you've shared
Right.
that I'm going to say, I don't think this location is going to be right for that
Yep.
product.
Okay.
And then there are going to be other locations where I'm going to say, okay, now that I get an idea of what you like and what you're looking at, I also want you to start considering this area.
Right.
That because you're getting that same flavor and vibe, but here's another location.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I would hope. The agents working with us and agents working with our followers. So if somebody watching this wants to come get in contact with you, start this journey, how would they do that?
Yeah. Follow us on Instagram or reach out to us at Joe D Las Vegas. That's probably the easiest way to get in contact with us.
So Joe D Las Vegas, just send you a message saying, hey, I saw you 1 rental at a time. I want to do something in Vegas. You guys can take care of them.
We'll absolutely be happy to help answer any questions they have. And
Awesome. Emily, do you have an Instagram as well?
I do. Mine's Emily DeRaffaele. Complicated last name. Spelling's a little difficult, but you can find me through his Instagram.
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
more than likely she'll be the first point of
Exactly.
So we just got back from Jody. I got to ask, are you still excited? Are you still willing to dig in and learn some more?
Yeah, very, very. I'm very excited. I think I'm more excited now than I was when you first brought
When I
it
sprung
up.
it on to you this morning.
Well, no, I love it. I just been waiting for it to happen. I was like, I think we're gonna buy some property when we get to Vegas. But it's like, why is he so quiet? I mean,
I
what's going on there?
I was wrong. I was
And
wrong.
finally, I think you kind of come to your senses.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I wasn't sure you wanted to do it again, right? We got a pretty comfortable existence. So
No, I expect that to happen. And I've been like just
Oh, my
waiting
goodness.
instead of pushing you. Maybe you're not ready yet.
Oh well, no, we're gonna do it. We're gonna document the whole process. I think it's gonna
Okay.
be fun.
All right.
But Vegas is, I knew Vegas was big, right? Joe D did a great job of us highlighting just how big and diverse it is. I think there's a lot of things we still need to do to figure out if long-term buy and hold is right? We
Right.
don't have a buy box, we don't have an area.
Right.
But there's also lots of other things we could do, right? We're gonna talk with other folks. But
Right.
I wanted to ask you about agents, right? Joe D is clearly very good at what he does,
Right.
but
And he owns his own rental, right?
he does, he's an investor, yeah.
Okay.
What do
How'd you find him?
How'd I find Joe? Joe and I actually spoke at the same event all those years ago. And it was actually Ty and Bo's event. So it was in San Ramon. Actually, I just retired. It was one of the first events in 2018 after I retired.
I remember you went there.
And so he was a speaker, I was a speaker. And I saw him speak, he saw me speak. And then I remember getting done with mine, and over in the corner, there was like this little beehive, right? And I remember thinking, is there a professional athlete here, right? I mean, because there was like a lot of people just buzzing around. So I went in and figured out what was going on, and it was Joe. Right? It was
Okay.
Joe D. He was just holding court. And I didn't bother him there because he was way too busy. But I asked Ty, right, who we talk to every Friday, to introduce us, and he did. So that's how I met Joe.
Great. So.